So in this video we're going to put the outside part of this ClampJaw. If you have a close look at the engineering drawing, the orthogonal, you will notice that this central web sits directly in the center or in the middle of the bit that sits on top. The bit that sits on top hangs over about 6mm on one side and 6mm on the other side. So with 6mm on one side, 8mm on the centre and 6mm on this side, we have a total distance of 20mm. And looking at the engineering drawing, it indeed tells us that it's a 20mm wide piece that sits over the top of here. Okay, so let's begin. The way I'm going to approach this, I'm again going to do an extrusion. However, I'm going to be introducing a new plane that I can draw from. If you have a look at this drawing here, at the moment we have a plane, but it sits sort of on the left hand side of this piece. So we sort of drew on that plane and then we extruded it 8mm this way. Now what we want to do is extrude 20mm in one direction from a plane that we're going to introduce ourselves. So to do this, make sure you've deselected everything, choose plane, and we'll create a new plane off this particular surface. And we could have done the other surface if we wished. I just chose this surface because it's convenient. So I'm going to choose this surface. It automatically creates a plane for me, and you'll notice the purple arrow tells us that the plane will be created as a transformed distance or a translated distance. At the moment it's 0mm, but we want it to be in this direction at around about 6mm. In fact, exactly 6mm. Type in 6mm, hit OK, and you'll be able to see that that plane now sits. If you have to turn it sideways, you'll see that plane is sitting. This is the plane, 6mm from that edge. Control D. Now again, DTM1, that is what was created, we just built that. And now we're going to do an extrusion off DTM1. So before we choose the extrude, make sure you've chosen some white space. You haven't selected anything. Everything needs to be deselected. We hit the extrusion tool. It wants to know what plane you want to draw on, to sketch on. We're going to choose DTM1. That's the new plane we just introduced. Click on that and choose your sketch view. Now that we're in sketch view, we're going to go ahead and draw the sketch of the piece that sits on top. Remember, we're drawing 6mm away from this particular surface. Okay, so I'm going to use a line tool. I'm going to start here, go straight up, straight across, straight down, straight across, straight up, and a middle click there, disconnect, and go from that point, make it easier, and then draw down. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now, middle click, and I'm going to try and place these distances correctly using the dimension tool. I know the distance between that line and that line must be 5mm. Introduce that. I know the distance between that line and this line is going to be 5mm. I know the distance between that line and that line is 5mm. There we have it. And we know the distance of this line going up is 23mm. And that's basically it. Now we just go and fill in the rest of these lines and we drop those fillets in and we can perform the extrusion. So the way I do that is I click on the line tool. Notice I've zoomed in, makes it a bit easier. Click on this start point there. It'll actually snap to the edge of this arc. So we snap there. I'm going to middle click to disconnect. I'm going to restart my line tool at that point of the arc. Come down, zoom in to this point, middle click to disconnect. Click again, put a line in to the beginning of this arc. Left click, middle click to disconnect. Click again, draw the line up to the end point of that line. Middle click, disconnect, and now I'm going to put the 3-point arc. Notice there are lots of arc tools. We're using the 3-point tangent arc tool. And the way we do this, we click an endpoint for the arc, and if you can remember, this is kind of annoying, so you just move your mouse through that little loop and it'll disconnect, so you can go and select the other endpoint, that arc, drop that in, it should connect, there we go, connects in there, that's one, we'll do the next one, starts there, finishes there. Oh, it didn't come in. Okay, so we have to have a quick look at that. I have to choose the arc again. We put it in again, click there, through the loop, select that, drop that in, middle click. We do one more, select here, select the other end of the line. There it is. Yep. Middle click to disconnect. Okay, now let's go ahead and put in those fillets. We've got a fillet between here and here. Middle click, change this to 5mm. There it is. Come over this side, choose fillet, left click, middle click, and double click 5mm. And I think we've pretty much done. I believe there are no more fillets we have to put in. I think we're done. And we can hit OK to finish our sketch. And as we turn this, you can see that the extrusion is done, but we want to drag it in this direction, a distance up 20mm. Press enter when you're done. You can see that looks pretty much like what we're after. And when you're happy with that, you're going to hit the OK tool, green tick, and there it is. We've done that middle section. In the next video, we'll go ahead and put the nice curve on this piece, and we'll also put a hole in that end piece. And that'll be in the next video.